Welcome to CARICOMP Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence. A passenger boarded a plane in Tokyo, transferred in Hong Kong, and landed in London, without showing a physical passport or boarding pass once. Not a simulation. I.A.T.A, the global trade body for airlines, completed proof of concept trials earlier this year that proved contactless international travel across borders actually works. The technology is ready. The question nobody's answered yet is who owns the face scan that made it possible. If you've ever looked into a camera at an airport kiosk or walked through an automated gate, this story is already about you. According to survey data from I.A.T.A, about 3 out of 4 travelers say they're willing to share biometric information if it speeds up their journey. And roughly half of all passengers have already used some form of biometrics at an airport touchpoint, a face scan at check-in, a fingerprint at a gate, an iris check at customs. So this isn't a future scenario. It's happening now, at scale, and the rules haven't caught up. Those I.A.T.A trials prove that airlines, airports, and governments can share a single digital identity across borders, across carriers, even across different digital wallets like Apple and Google. They ran routes through Tokyo, Hong Kong, London, and New Zealand. Multiple airlines, multiple countries, one face, zero paper. The technology question, can we do this, is settled. What's wide open is the governance question. Who sets the rules for your biometric data once it crosses a border? I.A.T.A.'s Director General said it plainly after the trials wrapped. Digital identity for international travel works securely and efficiently. But global adoption now depends on coordinated government action. Specifically, governments need to start issuing and accepting what are called digital travel credentials, essentially a digital version of your passport that a border system can verify without a human flipping pages. 3 separate tracks are being built right now, often independently of each other. Governments are building national digital identity programs. ICAO, the UN aviation body, is defining how passport data can be represented digitally. And the airline industry is developing what it calls One ID biometric journeys. The challenge is stitching those 3 worlds together. That means your face scan, taken at check-in in Singapore, needs to be trusted by a border system in Frankfurt, governed by rules that both countries agreed to, and deleted on a timeline that someone actually enforces. And that deletion question, it's not abstract. Right now, there's no global standard for how long an airport or airline or government can keep your biometric data. Some proposals say 12 hours. Some retention frameworks allow up to 75 years. That's not a rounding error. That's the difference between a transit convenience and a permanent surveillance record. In Europe, the friction is particularly visible. According to Airports Council International Europe, interpretations of GDPR, the EU's main data protection law, vary so much from country to country that biometric deployments stall at the border, not because the technology fails, but because France and Germany and Spain can't agree on what the same regulation actually requires. For anyone planning a trip through multiple European airports, that means the rules protecting your face scan might change every time you land. In the U.S., the TSA has been expanding facial recognition to more than 80 airports. The agency says it tests its systems across demographic groups. But according to an analysis published by the Regulatory Review, the TSA hasn't disclosed performance data broken out by race, gender, or age. That matters because independent research consistently shows facial recognition systems misidentify women and people with darker skin tones at significantly higher rates. Even a small error rate, say a fraction of 1%, can produce thousands of false matches every single day when you're running the system across hundreds of airports. 1,000 wrong answers a day isn't a glitch. It's 1,000 people whose travel could be delayed, who could be pulled aside, who could be flagged in a system they never opted into. Congress is paying attention. The Traveler Privacy Protection Act of 2025 would require airports and airlines to get your explicit consent before collecting any biometric data. It would ban passive surveillance, meaning no scanning your face as you walk through a terminal without your knowledge. And it would set hard deadlines for deleting stored images. That bill exists because, right now, none of those protections are guaranteed. Supporters of biometric expansion push back on the privacy fears. Some airport operators and vendors argue their systems already comply with GDPR principles: data minimization, purpose limitation, strict retention limits, robust consent. Countries like Australia and Singapore have deployed end-to-end biometric entry and exit systems. The issue, they say, isn't capability or even safety. It's political will and the speed of harmonization. And they're not entirely wrong. The I.A.T.A trials used existing standards from ISO, OpenID, and W3C frameworks. The technical plumbing is there. What's missing is the political agreement on who turns the valves. The real friction in airport biometrics isn't whether the algorithm can match your face. It can. The friction is that consent means something different in Tokyo than it does in Berlin, than it does in Dallas, and your face is the same in all three cities. So, the technology to move you through any airport on Earth using just your face already works. I.A.T.A proved it across multiple countries, multiple airlines, multiple digital wallets. What doesn't work yet is the agreement on whether you truly consented, how long your data lives, and which country's rules apply when your face crosses a border. Whether you fly every week or once a year, the next time you look into a camera at an airport, the question isn't whether the system recognizes you. It's whether anyone told you what happens to that image after you walk away. I linked the full article below, worth a read. Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.